E.I. Reed School of Journalism graduating class of 2013. I would actually ask everyone to stand up now, please, for the singing of the national anthem, performed by Jennifer Berkebile, who is a doctoral candidate in vocal performance.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so brightly we hid at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now you may all be seated. Good morning and welcome, students, faculty, family, and friends. But a very special welcome to you, our soon-to-be graduates of the WVU P.I. Reed School of Journalism. Today marks a milestone achievement in your lives, the end of one journey, the beginning of another. To our undergraduates, after 4, perhaps 5 years of hard work, some long nights, and I'm guessing some pretty good times, you're about to cross the finish line, diploma in hand. To our master's students, this day too is the end of a long haul. And for many of you, this day has come at a tremendous sacrifice. And while each one of you here today deserves the lion's share of the credit, you didn't get this far on your own. So at this moment, I would like to acknowledge some of the people who paved the way to your success. First, I would like to recognize your parents and other family members who build a foundation upon which you can build a successful career and life. At this moment, I'd like to ask parents and any other family members who would like to please stand so we can acknowledge your accomplishment today. Next, I'd like to recognize the School of Journalism faculty who guided you, encouraged you, sometimes had to push you, to be skilled and ethical communications professionals. And at this moment, I'd like to ask our School of Journalism faculty to please stand. Now, I'm sure most of you are excited and perhaps a little bit anxious about the future. While the economy is picking up, the job market may be still a bit soft, and you may be concerned about the opportunities in a changing media industry. But you don't need to worry. Your education at the School of Journalism and WVU has given you the skills and the knowledge to adapt to a variety of situations. Your degree has value, and so do you. You are bright, you are determined, and you are resilient. And you are precisely what the industry needs in these changing times. And that's why I'm thrilled today to introduce you to our commencement speaker, a man who is at the forefront of the future of media. Richard Gingras is Senior Director of News and Social Products at Google, a small technology company you may have heard of. For 30 years, as a corporate executive, consultant, and Silicon Valley entrepreneur, Gingras has led advancements in media technology, from satellite networking for television to using TV signals for data distribution to developing new digital products and platforms. Now, his resume is so extensive and so diverse that I can't begin to do him justice. So today, I'm just going to give you a couple of brief highlights. In his current role, Gingras oversees Google News, a powerful aggregation service that connects more than 1 billion users each week to news stories in more than 70 countries and in more than 40 languages. He also oversees product development for Google's new, very hot social platform, Google+. Before joining Google, Gingras was CEO of Salon Media Group, which operates the news site Salon.com, the first web-only publication, the blogging community OpenSalon.com, and the pioneering virtual community, The Well. Gingras is also a highly regarded thought leader on the future of media and journalism, and he serves on the board of the First Amendment Coalition. Now, something that you probably don't know about him is that he also has an unusual hobby, dare I say obsession? He likes to create giant sculptures out of beech wood, and then he burns them. Now, as you will soon learn, his hobby serves as the perfect metaphor for a man who likes to tear down old models to make way for the new. So without further ado, I am so pleased to give you Google's own Burning Man, Mr. Richard Gingras.
Google's own Burning Man. I love that. I love that. No one's ever said that. In fact, I'm sensing a meme in that. In fact, I'm sensing the urge to post that right now. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. And in fact, I'm going to encourage the graduates who I know, if I can ask you this privately here, just between us, I know that you are born to the form social media experts, so pull out those devices, boot up those social networks, warm up those hashtags, and help create the meme with me. I'm going to add a picture with mine, if you don't mind, and it's going to include you. Let's see here. I got you. Smile. Make sure to smile. And my post reads, Google's Burning Man. That's how I was introduced to for my commencement address. I'm going to get started in 10 seconds at the University of West Virginia. My burning obsession got noticed. Hash, how cool is that? Hashtag WVU 2013. And we hit send. It's shared. It's out into the ether. Now let's get on to the good stuff. I'm truly honored to be here with you all today and have the opportunity to speak with you. It means a tremendous amount to me. Let me first thank President Clements, Associate Provost Dooley, Dean Reed, of course, the family and friends who are here and have been so supportive over the years. And most importantly, congratulations to the graduating class of 2013 who have worked so hard to be here on this day. Newspapers found their way into my blood well before I was able to read one. I would inevitably, lost that sentence. Until I was able to read one. From the time I could walk, I would visit my dad in the press rooms of the Providence Journal, where he was head of the machine shop. I was addicted to the smell of the ink and paper, enthralled with the noisy rhythm of the presses. I would inevitably return home grimy and ink-stained with yet one more origami newspaper hat fashioned by a gap-toothed typesetter, trying to be nice to Louis's boy. I was enthralled when my dad showed me some complex part he had handcrafted out of raw steel to keep the presses running. I learned a lot from him: a love for tools and machines, a belief in craftsmanship, the satisfaction of solving problems, the value and importance of public speaking, and the confidence to take risks and try new things. My dad is 91. He has never quite understood what I do for a living. Not unreasonable. He was born of a different era. He has never owned a computer. I know he's very proud of me, but it's a sweet, trusting, blind pride. I remember one time when he showed a glow of fascination rather than puzzlement about my work. It was when I told him I was president of a small company that created the on-demand coffee table books that Apple introduced a decade or so ago. I showed him a sample book. He smelled the ink. He felt the paper. He pronounced it good. It made me feel great. My 90-year-old mom, on the other hand, juggles her iPads, prowls the social networks, eager to keep up with kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, and friends. She's taught me to be gently resolute, determinedly gentle, and to have the courage to reinvent oneself. After getting 4 kids off to college, she went to work as a bank teller and retired 15 years later as a vice president of a Rhode Island bank. Hashtag, how cool is that? We live in such dramatically different times. It's not hyperbole to say that we are at the early stages of a revolution in communications, the likes of which our civilization has never known. The media landscape is being completely shuffled, rearranged, and reinvented in ways we know and in ways we do not yet know. Just 30 years ago, if you wanted to share your thoughts and ideas and ruminations with others, what could you do? It required significant effort. There was, as we say in Silicon Valley, considerable friction involved. You could print your ruminations, attach a stamp. You know what a stamp is, don't you? And mail the document to a select group of people, though outside of that classic New Year's family letter, it might have felt odd to do so. You could publish and mail a newsletter, more of those stamp thingies. Or maybe if you were particularly clever or well-connected, or both, you could convince a newspaper or a magazine or some other media outlet to publish that carefully crafted expression of your ideas. It was expensive, it was complicated, and if you wanted to participate in the larger dialogue about matters of public interest, there were many gatekeepers who controlled your access. We might not have thought about it as particularly restrictive, but it was. Today, we live in a vastly different world. Today, there are no longer any barriers to publishing. Everyone has a printing press. There are no gatekeepers. There is virtually no expense, no barrier to expressing your thoughts and ideas to anyone and everyone in the world. In fact, there is so much publishing that new phrases like oversharing and too much information have entered our lexicon. I say no barriers, except, of course, where governments restrict access or threaten free speech, with untoward monitoring of communications with implied and real punishment for perceived misbehavior. Fortunately, here in our country, our record is quite good. This rather complete and thorough realization of our constitutional right to freedom of the press would stun the authors of the First Amendment. Not that they would have been surprised by the vituperative nature of some of today's discourse, given their own experiences with venomous scandalmongers and pamphleteers. They would likely consider the vapid, cynically confrontational programs on our cable news networks as quite tame. But yes, we have more voices participating than ever before. However, it's useful to note that having the right and the ability to publish doesn't mean that everyone else has the responsibility to listen to you. And thank God for that. We have more publishing than ever before. That doesn't mean it's all high-quality expression. There is good and there is bad. There is wheat and there is chaff. But if one looks at things statistically, which I tend to do, and assume that wheat to chaff ratios stay reasonably the same, then we have more good content than ever before. It might be harder to find, but it is there. Indeed, this new ecosystem raises the very basic question of who is a journalist, who is a purveyor of news. Those who believe strongly in constitutional press freedoms know that openness of the press goes hand in hand with the absolute lack of legal definition of that term. We are all journalists. We are all publishers. The introduction of the World Wide Web 20 years ago was revolutionary, but it was only the first step. It didn't end there. Just over the last half a dozen years, we have seen dramatic continuing innovations in the way people share and consume media, share and consume news. Less than 6 years ago, the iPhone hit the market. Android followed less than a year later. Now the world has upwards of 1 billion smartphone users, and that number is growing at 40% year over year. Within a decade, we expect 5 billion smartphone users around the globe. Then 3 years ago, the iPad was introduced, and it, along with Android tablets and Kindles, are now in the hands of more than 30% of US adults. With those devices, more news is being consumed than ever before. It is consumed throughout the course of the day and from a far broader array of sources. This rapid advance of new digital devices will continue, whether inspired by efforts like Google's Project Glass or smart watches or other wearable, even discardable screens and devices. Over that same half dozen years, we also witnessed the introduction of social networking. Between Facebook, Google+, Twitter, there are nearly 2 billion people around the globe using social networks to keep up with friends, share dinner with grandkids via a hangout, video chat, or participate in a political movement. Since the beginning of today's convocation and through the rest of it, in spite of that guidance to turn your cell phones off, I'd be surprised if the amount of social expression from this audience alone didn't number into the thousands as you share posts and tweets and images and videos with your friends, your families, the entire world as you experience this day. All with that supercomputer in your pocket we call a smartphone. At the same time, these dramatic changes in communications technology have challenged publishers and media entities born of an earlier era. Newspapers and magazines now struggle to find relevance and profitability. The world has shifted under their feet, and they have yet to find a new balance. The only solution is to change, to adapt. Some will find their way, others will not. The ones that survive and flourish will be those who innovate, those who change with the times, those who explore new approaches, those who adopt or create new tools and technologies, those who recognize that they can only succeed by building and nurturing a workforce of people with the ability and flexibility to innovate, to take chances, to adopt and adapt as quickly as the Class 5 rapid flow of technological change. While many traditional publishers struggle to find a new path, new companies and new entrepreneurs are coming to the marketplace and approaching these opportunities with no baggage, no old models to protect, no time-worn behaviors that have stiffened backs and dulled creative edges. For the entrepreneur, that creative canvas is fresh and clean. Existing players are challenged, sometimes crippled, by the need to eat their own young. Entrepreneurs bear no such burden. You come into this space bearing no such burden. We are experiencing nothing less than a revolution in mass communications, nothing less than a creative renaissance in media and journalism. Consider reporters like Adam Ellick, the first New York Times correspondent to report on the front page of the New York Times in all media forms. He trekked deep into the most dangerous areas of Afghanistan, a one-man reporting crew, to shoot and report on the likes of Malala Yousafzai, the 12-year-old girl who challenged the Taliban's efforts to keep women out of schools and was shot in the face by the Taliban for her efforts. Consider events like Hurricane Sandy and the Boston Marathon bombing, and the powerful and raw contributions of the crowd via social networks. Hundreds of thousands of people uploading their emotions, their grief, their anger, their support, their photos, their correct and incorrect theories as to what happened and how. Consider the potential of computational journalism to support investigative reporting efforts in the era of big data for such important uses as analyzing hospital billing records to monitor the performance of medical institutions, or efforts like Laura and Chris Amico's Homicide Watch project that tracks unreported murders in Washington, D.C. In my view, the future of journalism and the future of media will be better than its past, and in fact, I would suggest it already is better than the past. But along with the many opportunities which this emerging world of media presents, there are new challenges and new responsibilities. Technology may have great value, but it has no intrinsic values. It is neither inherently good or inherently evil. Technology can be used for weapons of mass destruction or weapons of mass immunization. While the internet has opened access to publishing and broadened our base of knowledge without question, the internet also has the power to provide support and succor for any opinion, any belief, any fear, and give it greater volume. Unfortunately so. Sadly, political players, interest groups, and yes, media outlets know all too well that affirmation sells better than information. Our society's need for credible journalistic knowledge and wisdom has never been greater. While the evolution of the World Wide Web has been hugely beneficial, it raises the bar on any effort to parse truth from falsehood, wisdom from spin. How can we address that? Not only with innovation in our own journalistic approaches to building trust and credibility, but in opportunities to organically leverage the ecosystem itself. Is there a possibility of finding truth in the numbers, finding truth in the trusted crowd? And that's where each of you enter the storyline. When it comes to the future of journalism, there is no more important group than the likes of those who are in this room being honored with degrees today. It is you who will invent the future of journalism. It is you who will stretch the bounds of the art and science and business of journalism. It is you who will, with your efforts, inspire the actions of others. And I look forward to what you do. While this revolutionary era presents extraordinary opportunity, such a fast-changing world also requires a different approach to developing and managing one's career. Again, let's remember, technological change will not abate, it will only quicken. Just as companies must constantly innovate to maintain relevance and success, each of us as individuals must do so as well. How can one not only be comfortable with the fast-changing professional world, but thrive in that environment? Remember, the 40-year one-job career is a thing of the past. In that regard, my own career, which has comprised more than a dozen companies over 40 years, is far likely to be a better predictor of how your career will play out. I would suggest that it requires a different way of thinking about career development. It requires an entrepreneurship of the self, a constant reconsideration of what you're about, of what you know and how you know it, of constant exploration and experimentation. Again, it requires an entrepreneurship of the self. What does that mean? It means the need to keep asking questions. It means the need to keep challenging one's own assumptions and the assumptions of others. That is a core principle at Google. Challenge the assumption. If it was true today, will it be true tomorrow? Sometimes it is, many times it's not. It means constantly assessing what you are about. What's your passion? What's your mission? The thing that really gets you excited every morning. Are there new technologies to learn and try? Are there new sets of tools and technologies and techniques that might improve one's work and one's business and one's career opportunities? As an author or journalist, are there new approaches to style and form? As Marshall McLuhan said, every new medium begins as a container for the old. While early radio news began with reading of newspaper articles, that model was quickly superseded by a shorter, crisper style that was appropriate to the radio medium. What are the media forms suitable to a world that consumes media via social posts and bullet points? Are there new ideas and theories to explore, both large and small? Are you finding new ways to express yourself, both within the bounds of whatever job you might have, as well as outside those bounds? Are you getting your ideas out there? Are you listening carefully to the feedback you receive, including feedback that's uncomfortable to hear? These efforts are invaluable in evolving your skills, expanding your horizons, and getting yourself noticed. Are you working in an environment that gives you the best opportunity to learn? While I know you may not always have the choice, If you're in a place that stifles your creativity and stunts your development, then please don't remain there 1 minute longer than necessary. Take risks, innovate, make mistakes. Yes, you'll do your best to avoid those mistakes, but they'll happen. That's okay. Learn from them, move forward. Several years ago, I was being introduced for a speech, and it was suggested that given my long career, I must know all the answers. Of course, I don't know all the answers, as my daughters have long been quite willing to point out. The truth is, I've simply had the opportunity to make far more mistakes than you have. And on a good day, if I wake up with a semblance of wisdom, I might just have a better understanding of the right new questions to ask. Back to those fires I create. Several times I've been asked, why do I build these driftwood structures? Why do I take the time to create something only to set the creation aflame? My usual response is that I have motive and opportunity. The compelling desire to have a fire on a beach and copious amounts of driftwood to fuel that fire. But there's actually a more important answer. Yes, I like to slice and dice driftwood logs with a chainsaw. Who doesn't? Yes, I love to spend time with friends and family until the firelight turns dark. But what is it really about? It's about creating an experience, creating a moment, one that is at the same time ephemeral and long-lasting. It's about creating memories. It's important to think about creating memories. The bad memories, they'll happen on their own. The good ones, they need to be willed into existence. Create memories. All of you graduating today have benefited from a fine education. You've worked hard. You've attained a level of accomplishment beyond that which is accessible or attainable by most others. I would speculate that all of you have benefited from the kind guiding hands along the way at just the right time. Your family, certain teachers, and many others who put that positive force behind you when you needed it. Give them a hug, a good and tight one. But also think about how you can give something back. And I don't mean money, and I don't mean in 10 years. I mean something more valuable than that, and I mean something now. The encouraging word, the gentle gesture of guidance, the confidence-building support for someone struggling climbing to a new level, maybe the new level that you're on. It's important, it's meaningful, it's valuable to them, and without question, it will elevate and sustain your own good sense of self. Give something back. I often think of myself as the luckiest guy in the world. I've had a fascinating, challenging, and rewarding career. I have a wonderful and supportive family. I continue to be challenged by new creative opportunities. I continue to make mistakes and try to learn from them. I have no regrets. Well, maybe I have one regret. I'd like to switch places with you. I'd like to begin the journey all over again. Again, congratulations. Relish the opportunities available to you in these extraordinary times. Take chances. Be creative in as many ways as you can. Make mistakes. Crash and learn. Go forward. Make progress. And create great memories. Enjoy your journey. Thank you very much.
What an honor, Mr. Richard Gingras. So, before we get to that moment that you're all waiting for, I would ask that you would all again welcome Jennifer Berkebiel, who will sing My Home Among the Hills.
There's a land of rolling mountains where the sky is blue above, and though I may roam, I hurry home to the friendly hills I love, where the moonlit meadows reach hills. The autumn hillsides are bright with scarlet trees, and in the spring the robins sing, while apple blossoms whisper in the breeze, and there is music in the flashing streams, and joy in fields of daffodils, laughter through the happy valleys of my home among the hills.
Yes, and now the moment you've been waiting for, the granting of the diplomas. Assistant Professor Bob Britton will read the names of the graduation candidates, starting with the master's degree in integrated marketing communications and the master's degree in journalism candidates, followed by our bachelor's degree candidates. Program directors will hood the master's degree candidates, and I will present the diplomas. For the bachelor's degree candidates, program chairs will present the diplomas. Also on stage to congratulate all of our graduation candidates to represent the university will be WVU Associate Provost, Dr. Elizabeth Dooley. At this time, we will begin the presentation of graduation candidates.
There you go. Good. Will the candidates for Master of Science in Integrated Marketing Communications please stand and approach the diploma table when your name is called? Emily Benner. Okay. Callista Black. Darlene Elizabeth Brown. Daniel Carroll. Sorry. Cassandra Kaysen Copeland. Jennifer Cruz. Amanda Downs. Kayla Eubanks. Roger M. Eccles II. Jennifer Ann Footman. Laura Phillips Garner. Jennifer Nicole Graber. Fiona L. Green. Nicole Hagee. Samantha Halsma. Ashley Marin Hess. Casey Gray Hill. Katrina Marie Jackson. Leanne Jaffrati. Alisa King. Christy D. Litton Cramlett. Jason M. Martin. Lisa Annette Martin. John D. McPherson. Michelle Merritt. Patrick Moody. Julie M. Olson. Marilyn Haywood Page. Joyce Marjorie Pritchett. Kyle Scriven. Lisa Sands. Amy Shao. Keisha Simmons. Alice Soto. Shayna Scott Varner. Joyce Viriotes. Michelle Ann Waddle. Kiera Warren. Raymond Weibel Jr. Jill Whiskeyman. Will the candidates for Masters of Science in Journalism please stand and approach the diploma table when your name is called? Oh. After Steve gets up. Rebecca Deem. Magdalena Kowalska. Margaret Ann Matsko. Candace Nelson. Anan Wan. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Science in Journalism, Advertising please move toward the stage? Kristen Rose Abbott. Brian Eloise. Courtney Leanne Brown. Philip M. Boucher. Caitlin Elizabeth Callahan. Amber Melissa Cassidy. Dante DiCicco. Courtney DeLucas. Andrea Donnellan. Lauren Draber. Brittany Alexandra Elliott. Michael Freesia. Stephen Haley. Jennifer Jackson. Zachary Adam Kaiser. Lindsay Copenhaver. Paul W. Lamancusa, Jr. Daniel G. Lasco. Paul Malloy. Kaylee Marcosi. Kelsey Macaulay. Sorry, I wrote it twice. Thank you. Cole Jordan Mertens. Melanie Ann Miles. Grant Michael Mitchell. Tim Mitten. Dylan Moore. Samantha Parisi. Melanie Perry. Meredith Petrosic. Dominic J. Procopio. Brendan James Quinn. Patrick K. Quinn. Jonathan Riley. Michael Zachary Ryder. Jacqueline Riggleman. Ariana Satapur. Ryan Joseph Schroeder. Andrew Shorholtz. Tyler James Shade. Megan Smith. Elizabeth Sokolaska. Stephen Lee Spence. Connor Stalker. Victoria Stambaugh. Julia Adriana Swindells. Alexandra Taylor. Tierra Thomas. Peter Wanders. Kelly Walls. Selena Welbers. William Wallace Werline IV. Catherine Elizabeth White. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Science in Journalism, Broadcast News, and Television Journalism please move toward the stage? Stephanie Lynn Aiken. Brooke Elizabeth Burton. David M. Carl. Alyssa Danielle Casalino. Laura Elizabeth Clark. Lindsay Ann Cobb. Sarah Cordonier. Sarah Victoria Davis. Bradley T. Eichenseer. Caitlin Marie Fitzgerald. Matthew Landon Fauti. Alexis Frizzell Taylor. Ian John Grimley. Hey, how's it going, Preston? Arthur Preston Hartman. Brianna Marie Marquanda. Kelly Matava. Marissa Matola. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Congratulations. Milda Marie Mullins. Gregory Olenek. Michael David Ploger. Brian Michael Popkin. Eric Roberts. Allison Rollins. Francis A. Silva. Stephen Sleeper. Shashira Srinivas. Ashley Brooke Sturm. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Science in Journalism, Print Journalism, please move toward the stage? Bridget May. Kirk Oval. Sorry, Kirk. Hey, Yvonne. Vaughn Christian Barkley.
Hey, good, how are you?
James Michael Carvelli. Zachary Cumberland. Kamala Gopalakrishnan. Connor Drew Griffith. Catherine D. Heath. Melanie Hoffman.
Robert?
Robert Kreis. Kelsey Rebecca Lynch. Sean Manning. Kayla Marley. Sean McNamara. Katie Murdoch.
Congratulations.
Lydia Newsom. David Perry. Samantha Red. Andrew Silva. Michael Martin Stahersky. Jesse Tabbitt.
Congratulations, Ashley.
Ashley Walter. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Science in Journalism, Visual Journalism, please move toward the stage? Jane Lauren Abenir. Kristen Basham. Cassia King. Monica Ariel Kinslow. Kylie Rasmick. Barbara Yanero.
James?
James Anthony Yeria. Joshua Todd Young. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Science in Journalism, Public Relations, please move toward the stage? Andrea Alvarez. Nasim Amini. Kelsey Amsdell. Hillary Barton. Lacey Beatty. Anna Benmoa. Bethany Lauren Blois. Rachel Maria Borowski. Allison Bostrom. Kelly Brown. Natalie Bryant. Shannon Marie Bukowski. Julie Burke. Kelsey Erin Burke. Thank you. Fallon Ashley Burr. Tara Calbit. What do I call it? Melissa Kendolfi. Tony Ann Marie Caputo. Rima Cario. Lindsay Elizabeth Carr.
I lost my card somewhere. Cornelius Cody.
Fantastic. Cornelius Cody. Haley Collins. Jacqueline Olivia Cook. Leah. Okay. Thanks. Leah Crow. Reed Dempsey. Chloe Dietrich. Cassandra L. Dumont. Jocelyn Lee Ellis. Lucia Garofalo. Megan Catherine Higgins. Alexa Hobbs. Leah Holdren.
Congratulations.
Brian Horton. Jeremy Howerton. Rebecca Johnson. Ashley Jones. Caitlin Suzanne Kaiser. Michelle Ashley Cada. Jamie Kornhaber. Elizabeth Link. Devin Jane Lopez. Kayla Ann Elise Lund. Brendan Gabriel Mays. Emily Meadows. Charlotte Summers Miller. Paige Nicolette Miller. Juliana Napolitano. Robert John Netz, Jr. Miranda Jean Nickel. Sarah O'Rourke. Jordan Pence. Kenneth Joseph Pringle. Shelby Prouch. Brittany Pryor. Amanda Marie Riddle. Rebecca Ann Rosenblatt. Stephanie Rosnick. Tatiana Shaza. Devin Sears. Kelsey Marie Shingleton. Kelsey Shirk. Caitlin Smallwood. Elizabeth Shea Snyder. Gina Spurio. Caitlin Michelle Starcher.
Cameron Sorab.
Okay. Cameron Sarab Vaghi. Mariah Valia. Brianna Veronica Verdin. Caitlin Gabriella Zahn.
Okay, so what's with the hugging? You know? Delays things just a little bit, seriously? Okay. We had a no hugging rule, by the way, a few years ago. Out the window. But anyway, you're not there yet, by the way. I can't say congratulations yet because now I have to introduce the WVU Associate Provost, Dr. Elizabeth Dooley, who will lead the official conferring of the WVU degrees. So hang on.
Good morning. Will the candidates from the Perley Isaac Reed School of Journalism please rise? Candidates, your profession's role in communicating ideas and informing citizens is essential to the functioning of a free society. Having experienced an innovative curriculum, worked with cutting-edge technologies, and undertaking ample real-world experiences, you are well prepared to succeed in the 21st century mass communications environment. As you enter that environment, you may continue to express yourself with clarity and conviction, to maintain your devotion to truth, and to hold yourselves to the highest possible ethical standards. As West Virginia University graduates, always aspire to put your education to work, exploring our world's greatest problems. Continue to cultivate your global awareness and aim to create a more peaceful and just world. Constantly refine your abilities to uncover facts, analyze problems, and communicate clearly. Dream big and never stop learning. Share your pride in West Virginia University wherever you go and act as ambassadors for WVU and the life-changing power of education. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the West Virginia University Board of Governors, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, honor, and privileges appertaining thereto. As West Virginia University's newest graduates, bachelors may move your tassel to the left side of your cap. As a symbol of your achievement, please join me in celebrating and congratulating our newest graduates.
Please be seated, and again, congratulations, class of 2013. Now, while every graduate is special, today we also pay tribute to those students who have demonstrated academic excellence. So first, I would like to recognize our students in the WVU Honors College who are identified by their gold gowns. You will also notice that many of our students are wearing the gold and blue braided cords. These students are graduating with Latin honors, either cum laude, magna cum laude, or summa cum laude, which is based on the student's overall grade point average. And we would also like to recognize our graduates who have served this nation with valor and sacrifice. The red, white, and blue cords these students wear are a tribute to their service. We also honor faculty and staff who have served. The School of Journalism was also fortunate enough this year to have a student named as the WVU Foundation Outstanding Senior, or one of the outstanding seniors for 2013, and this is an award that recognizes the top graduating seniors for their contributions and achievements in scholarship, leadership, and service. And that student is Sarah Cordonera. And will all of those students stand up? Stand up. Will all of our outstanding students stand up, please? Oh, they're all standing up. All right. Okay. In addition, the School of Journalism honors its own top graduating seniors, and these are the students who have earned the highest grade point average in their major, as well as the senior with the highest GPA in the graduating class. This year, 2 of our 3 top graduates couldn't be here, so while I will mention all of them, only one will come up on stage. So our top scholar in advertising who could not be here today is Rachel Perch, and she is also our top graduating senior with the overall highest GPA. Our top scholar in public relations, who also couldn't be here, is Evan Bonstetter. And last but not least, our top scholar in journalism, Francis Silva. Come on down. All right, congratulations. Wow, we're almost there. Finally today, our graduating students, or our graduates. As you leave WVU, I would like to impart some final words of advice, and I do promise to be brief. First of all, as you enter the working world, be brave. Most of you are leaving the safety of school for a new phase in your life. You're about to embark on a journey, but nobody has given you a roadmap. Don't let anybody fool you. Your 20s, perhaps your 30s, are a challenging time as you figure out what you want to do and who you want to be and how you want to live your life. And the liberating but also scary part of all this is that these will be your decisions. No one else, not your parents, not your teachers, not your boyfriend or girlfriend, can determine your future. But don't let the fear of the unknown paralyze you. Get started, get moving, take chances, pursue one path, and if it doesn't pan out, find another way. If someone says no, find somebody else to say yes. Be focused and determined and make your own breaks. Be your own brand. Be smart. Not just book smart, but savvy, which means seeing the bigger picture and figuring out how you fit into it. Be an avid student of your profession. Determine what is needed and where you can add value. And as our wonderful commencement speaker said, Richard Gingras, you are constantly learning, constantly developing new skills, constantly reinventing yourselves. And can we have another round of applause for our awesome graduation speaker? And I'm just checking in. Are we a meme yet? Yeah, all right. So be smart, but also be yourself. Ultimately, to be successful, you will need to figure out what you're good at and what you're not. And I'm going to tell you this, and you won't believe me, but it's true. Your first series of jobs will likely be a process of elimination. You're going to find out what you like, what you don't like, and it's going to take a while to settle on what you finally are going to do, and you need to be prepared for that. Use your head, but learn to listen to your heart. Find out what motivates you, what inspires you, what is true for you. Find your own voice and your own passion. If you can combine what you love to do with what you're good at, work will certainly not feel like work, and you will be very successful. But there is more to the world than just you. To be a well-rounded and well-grounded person, you also need to be of use. As you move forward, pay it forward to your family, to your friends, to your community, and of course to your alma mater. And I'm not just talking about financial, I'm talking about being a mentor to future graduates, coming back to speak, sharing your expertise and wisdom as you progress in life. Ask yourself when you wake up in the morning, not just what am I going to do today, but what will be my contribution. Be connected with your family, your friends, and your community. It's great to have thousands of Facebook friends, friends on Twitter, Google+, but you need to cultivate your relationships with real people, people who love you and accept you as you are, who will be there in the good times and the bad. And believe me, no matter how hard you try to avoid it, there will be difficult times ahead. Give of your heart, and you will gain much in return. Finally, and most importantly, you need to be in the moment. When you get to be my age, you will realize that life is not lived best as a series of tomorrows, but as a collection of moments, moments of great joy, great sorrow, and amazing grace, moments that can only be experienced by paying attention to the here and now, moments like this. So, class of 2013, savor this moment. While others may have helped you get here, in the end, this is your moment, your achievement, your success, your day to shine. Congratulations, class of 2013. We'll miss you. And now our graduates, parents, faculty, guests, could you please rise as we join together in singing the words of our alma mater. And the words are in the inside cover of your program if you don't know them by heart. After the alma mater, you will join us, I hope, for a reception in the main lobby.
To